Young financial decisions can either prepare you for future financial success or make it harder to achieve your goals. Make wise financial decisions from the beginning. Being young provides you with the benefit of time and a fresh start. You can set yourself up for long-term success and avoid costly mistakes. Here are some biggest mistakes that young adults make, as well as advice on how to prevent them. The first and foremost issue is spending that's both excessive and out of control. When you're young, it's easy to fall into the trap of buying things you can't afford and raising credit card debt. However, this can lead to serious financial problems down the road. If you're not careful, you could be struggling to make ends meet and saddled with a hefty debt burden. To avoid this, it's essential to learn to live within your means and only spend money on what you truly need. By doing so, you'll be in a much better financial position when you reach your later years. Next is never learning to budget. Many people simply don't bother to track their spending or set aside money for savings and future goals. As a result, they often find themselves in financial trouble later on. Start by tracking your income and expenses for a month to learn how to budget. This will give you a good idea of where your money is going and where you can cut back. Once you know where your money is going, you can set aside monthly money for savings and other goals. Another mistake that's often made is failing to save for retirement. When you're young, retirement may seem like a lifetime away. However, starting retirement savings is essential as early as possible. The sooner you start, the more time your money will have to grow. If you wait until you're older to start saving, you may not have enough money to last through your retirement years. To avoid this, start contributing to our retirement account as soon as possible. Young adults' fourth most significant mistake is buying a brand new car. While the initial cost may be lower than a used car, the long-term costs, such as higher insurance rates and depreciation, can quickly add up. In addition, new cars often come up with hidden fees, such as destination charges and advertising fees. As a result, young adults would be wise to consider all the costs before making a purchase. You can buy a second-hand car for a fraction of the price and avoid all the additional fees. Not giving importance to health is the fifth biggest mistake young adults can make. With energy and youth on their side, many young people feel invincible and as a result, fail to take care of their bodies. However, this neglect can eventually lead to serious health problems later in life. Additionally, not prioritizing health can also lead to financial difficulties. For example, if a young adult develops a chronic illness, they may be unable to work and earn an income. Consequently, young adults must protect their health now to avoid problems down the road. To do this, they should eat healthy foods, exercise regularly, and get adequate sleep. By taking care of their bodies now, young adults can set themselves up for a long and healthy life. The sixth mistake is incurring credit card debt. Credit cards can be a helpful tool for young adults, providing a safety net in emergencies and a way to establish a good credit history. However, they can also be a source of financial trouble if not used carefully. This can happen quickly if you only make minimum payments or use your credit card to buy things you can't afford. Once you start carrying a balance, it can be tough to get out of debt, especially if you're paying high interest rates. That's why it's essential to be mindful of your spending and to make sure that you only put items on your credit card that you can afford to pay off in full each month. By using your credit card wisely, you can avoid the mistakes that can lead to financial problems. The seventh biggest mistake is living paycheck to paycheck. Many young adults are in this situation because they haven't learned how to budget or save money. As a result, they're constantly struggling to make ends meet and often have to rely on credit cards to get by. This cycle can be challenging to break, but it's essential to do so if you want to achieve financial stability. One way to break out of this cycle is to create a budget and stick to it. This may require making some tough choices, but it will be worth it in the long run. Another way to avoid living paycheck to paycheck is to make sure you have an emergency fund. This will help you cover unexpected expenses without putting them on a credit card or taking out a loan. Lastly, try to avoid making impulsive purchases. It can be tempting to buy something you don't need, but this can quickly add up and put you right back where you started. If you can avoid these mistakes, you'll be on your way to financial success. Not having an emergency fund is A. Unexpected expenses always seem to come up when you least expect them. And if you don't have a financial cushion to fall back on, they can quickly send you into debt. While it can be tempting to use credit cards or take out loans to cover unexpected costs, this can often cost you more in the long run in interest payments. Instead, it's much wiser to set aside some money each month for a rainy day fund to draw on when needed. This will help you avoid the debt trap and keep your finances on track. The ninth is not knowing where your money is going. It's easy to allow yourself to be blindsided by the details and overlook the big picture. Whether forgetting to pay a bill or overspending on unnecessary items, every decision you make impacts your financial well-being. One of the best ways to avoid making this mistake is to create a budget and stick to it. By tracking your income and expenses, you'll be able to see where your money is going and make adjustments accordingly. Additionally, avoid letting emotions influence your spending decisions. It can be tempting to splurge when you're feeling down, but resist the urge and stick to your budget. Young adults' 10th biggest mistake is not having adequate insurance coverage. Even if you're healthy and responsible, having insurance in an emergency is always a good idea. While it may seem like an unnecessary expense, the truth is that accidents can happen at any time. And without insurance, the financial burden can be crippling. Medical costs, car repairs, and legal fees can quickly add up. If you're not adequately insured, you could find yourself in debt for years to come. Being prepared can protect yourself and your finances if something unexpected happens. 11. Lacking financial literacy. With the rising cost of education and housing, it's more important than ever to understand how to manage your money. Unfortunately, many young adults enter adulthood without a strong understanding of personal finance. This can lead to a lifetime of financial struggles, including credit card debt, student loan debt, and difficulty saving for retirement. With these pitfalls, it's important to take the time to learn about financial finance before you enter the real world. Many resources are available, including books, websites, and even financial literacy courses offered by some high schools and colleges. You can set yourself up for a bright financial future by taking advantage of these resources. Last but not least, for not investing. Although it may seem like a lot of money to put away now, failing to invest can have significant consequences. Compound interest is one of the most powerful tools available to investors. By starting early, young adults can take advantage of this force. Over time, compounding will help their investment grow exponentially, providing them with a nest egg that they can use to fund their retirement or pursue other financial goals. Furthermore, by investing now, young adults can also take advantage of meaningfully lower taxes. So while it may be tempting to spend everything today, young adults would be wise to invest in their future by putting some money away for tomorrow. The bottom line is that young adults often make many big financial mistakes. However, by being aware of these mistakes and avoiding them, you can set yourself up for a bright financial future. Remember, starting planning for your financial future is never too early. The sooner you start, the better off you'll be. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thank you and goodbye.